Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we're here with the NXT Takeover Brooklyn for a full review, recap, whatever else Nick wants to add on there. What's going on, Nick?
If you're wondering what it's called, Tim, it's called the NXT Takeover Recap Review Analysis Breakdown Literary Essay. No, not literary, verbal essay. Thoughts, reactions, prayers, all the fucking dumb words that I somehow fit in there every fucking week. NXT Takeover Brooklyn happened.
It's a good show. Really good show.
It was fun. It was really, really fun. There's always the text line if you guys would like to text in. It is... I don't know the number off the top of my head because it's not on the screen. But, Tim, you can throw it in the chat real quick.
I just did.
So you guys can text that number. Give us your thoughts. You know, whatever you guys think about it, any questions you guys have. Let's kick it off with the first match, which was probably my match of the night.
Really quickly, I just want to say, before TakeOver went on the air, I'm not going to give the spoilers, but I'm going to say they filmed two matches for
Deonna
this
Purrazzo
week's...
lost.
You asshole.
They don't care. Why would they care?
Some people might.
Sure.
So they filmed Zach Gibson challenging Pete Dunne for the UK title and Bianca Belair versus Deonna Purrazzo in Deonna Purrazzo's NXT television debut. So those are just some things that went down before TakeOver went on the air. But TakeOver did start with
It started with what I think is my match of the night in the NXT Tag Team title match, which pinned the champions, the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, taking on Mustache Mountain, which is the coolest name for a tag team.
704 on the text line. I don't know where you got this from, but I don't see that happening. I mean, Triple H did kind of tease it, but I don't see it happening. He says that the saga of Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa may be over, but this isn't the end of the story, as Gargano's going to turn heel and they're going to reform DIY.
It has to be the end of the...
I don't see that happening. Triple H did say that Johnny Gargano has been unraveling and he's falling over to the side that he doesn't really want to be. And now that you know, the stuff with Ciampa looks to finally be over, they can both move on.
But let's touch on that later. Let's kick off the first match.
So, first match of the night was the NXT Tag Team Championship match. Great match.
Yeah, when you think about storytelling, I mean, this is a clear example of what storytelling is.
Yeah, so
storytelling in a match. I'll let you catch your boundaries there. Storytelling in a match is very, very important. I think they did a great job tonight.
I do want to say that I liked on the interview Kathy Kelly did with the Undisputed Era before TakeOver how
they were sharing the titles.
Yep, Kyle O'Reilly,
awesome.
Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong were sharing their NXT tag title. That was great. Anyways,
it was pretty neat.
So the match starts off, and they're all four men in the ring, and they just start throwing fists. Mustache Mountain gained their early control, and they cut Strong until Strong cut Seven off and moved him over to his corner. Strong and O'Reilly then targeted Seven and his knee. That he wears the knee brace, so everybody knows. Oh, he's got a bad knee. Excuse me.
You made that sound like it's a bad thing.
I mean, he's got a bad knee. It's a target. Why?
Ciampa does that too. Ciampa wears the brace too.
I guess. I got to talk about that brace in the Ciampa match later. Anyways, so they were doing the frequent tag thing where they were tagging in and out, and they were talking about
old heel tag team.
They were talking on commentary how these two guys are such a great tag team because they know how long to stay in before you don't get yourself winded and tag your partner and this and that, and not wrong. And so Bate finally got tagged in. He got the hot tag and started running wild. O'Reilly on Bate's back, he applied a sleeper. Bate then managed a suplex. Strong in a feat of strength. A suplex on Strong in a feat of strength. Strong soon caught Bate with a lariat to change the momentum.
It's just that fucking lariat came out of goddamn fucking nowhere. I do want to say, why did they stop Cesaro from using the swing?
I mean, we saw it here tonight. And it's not the first time Bate's done it.
He does that swing so well.
Oh.
He had two dudes on his back.
One dude on his back.
He had a dude on his back. lifts the other guy up.
It was basically the giant swing and the airplane spin all in one.
I mean, Bate had probably one of the greatest wrestling sequences this year.
Right. So
I'm gonna wager that right now.
Yeah, I can see that. The Undisputed Era began to work over Bate. Strong at one point put him in the gory special. They teased that this could be a submission, but it may be too early in the match for that to happen. Champions made the quick tags, like I said earlier. They did it again. Bate then sent both O'Reilly and Strong sailing over the top rope in a sequence that led to a hot tag. Seven cleaned house and traded near falls with Undisputed Era. Bate tried to make the save, but to no avail. At least not yet. He would then try again and would make the save.
Yeah, and there was a lot of this match that had good storytelling. If you guys remember their NXT match,
5 stars.
Yeah, it got the 5 stars where Bate was that, and that's the one where Bate had thrown in the towel.
Right.
You got Bate thrown in the towel in that one. Now you got Trent Seven. He grabs that towel and he's about to throw it in. Right before he gets to throw it, Bate goes, No, don't. I got this. And he's thinking to himself, well, fuck, I don't want to see my friend get injured. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And it's good storytelling. It was really enjoyable.
Yeah, like I told you, that was the one little thing that kind of took me out of it. Because why do that spot? I get it was good storytelling, but why do it if everybody's going to know it's not the finish?
Because
he's not going to throw in the towel.
Hey, Tim,
okay.
Do you know wrestling's fake?
Yes.
So why do any of it?
Because
if you know it's fake, why do any of it?
Because at least there's times when I could be like, oh, this could be the finish. This could be the finish. That I knew for a fact would not be the finish.
Well, I mean, that's you. There's probably people in the crowd that thought, oh, they were going to do the same thing they did on NXT last week.
See, but I don't know.
You never know. You never know.
Roderick Strong applied a Boston Crab on 7. Meanwhile, Kyle O'Reilly caught Bate with an armbar. Bate then deadlifted. This was sick.
This was a great spot.
So Trent Seven's in the Boston Crab. Bate's in an armbar. All of a sudden, with his one arm, basically, he herks up Kyle O'Reilly. He's got Kyle O'Reilly up in like a powerbomb type position, kind of. And he doesn't just slam him down on the mat. Oh, no. He powerbombs him onto Roderick Strong to break the Boston Crab. This was great. Crowd went nuts.
Oh, yeah, the crowd loved that spot. The crowds are always into these matches, man.
Moments later, Bate suplexed each member of the Undisputed Era. Bate followed with a dive over the top rope to the floor. He hit Kyle O'Reilly with a dive. Roderick Strong got to his feet and threw him in the ring, but Bate then delivered the Tyler Driver 97 for a 2 count.
I thought that would have been the finish, and I want to say thank you to Kristen McNutt for the $5. Are we going to talk about Velveteen Dream's tights?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
we will. I will talk about that because I have something very important to say.
So I was like, they're not going to switch the titles, but oh my god, this could be the finish. When he hit that Tyler Driver, I was just like, no way they're going to give him the titles again.
I thought that was the finish right there.
So did I.
Honestly.
It was not the finish though. Another huge pop from the crowd when Roderick Strong kicked out. O'Reilly then got in and applied the ankle lock on Bate. This set up a tease for 7 to throw in the towel, as Nick already talked about. 7 ended up getting the hot tag once Bate got out of it. Mustache Mountain ran wild and hit double team finishers, flying neck breaker, knee drop, like just the knee drop off the top rope to the burning hammer. Which, if you don't know what a burning hammer is,
you don't kick out of the burning hammer ever.
It's an inverted Death Valley driver, basically.
You never kick out of the burning hammer.
Kicked out of it here.
He did.
Did it to Kyle O'Reilly, but he kicked out. Closing moments went wild. Crowd was going absolutely ape shit. Strong cut off Bate with a running knee strike to take him down for a minute. They outnumbered him. 7 then became the prey. They went and attacked 7, made sure he was dead. Undisputed Era then hit the total elimination, and O'Reilly covered 7 for the pinfall.
It was a good match. I'll cover the end of the match here. The Warrior Raiders came out and destroyed them.
Yeah.
Literally beat the living piss out of those guys. It was interesting.
They beat them down so bad, I was just like, they don't need a tag title match. Just Warrior Raiders grab them titles and walk away.
Yeah, at this point, you might as well. We're the new champions.
Blake was asked about that in his Facebook Live thing. Kathy Kelly was like, with so many strong tag teams in NXT and not knowing where to go next with number one contenders, is this going to be the new norm where you just come out and you attack? Triple H goes, I don't think that's he's like, I don't think that's the norm or the thing you need to do to establish yourself as number one contender. But it obviously now puts their name in the running, and Regal's going to have a big, decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
So then next up,
mind you, that was only the first match.
Yeah.
Like, you start the crowd out with, you start the fucking pay-per-view off with an above 5-star match.
Now, in my opinion, nothing against the match or the women. I thought the women should have went on first.
Yeah, I hate that every pay-per-view they got to follow up after a house burner.
But it could have been that they didn't want a title change in the first match.
Yeah, I did. I saw the height that Kyle O'Reilly got. Yeah, that was fucking impressive.
So then next up, we've got Velveteen Dream and EC3.
So I want to talk about something real quick.
Go for it.
I'm going to say this right now. We'll cover it very briefly, but Velveteen Dream won this match.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were surprised. I'm not. He needed a win. He needs a pay-per-view win.
It says his first ever win at a takeover.
And here's the thing. A lot of people are saying, oh, next time his tights are going to say something like, oh, send me back to NXT, LOL, Vince ruins everyone, ha ha ha, funny, funny, funny. Shut the fuck up, first of all. Second of all, you got to understand that I think when you look at Dream, a lot of people are saying they're going to turn him into like a Bobby Roode or what's his name?
Andrade Cien Almas?
No, not Andrade. Tyler Breeze. But I think the thing about Velveteen Dream is Vince could give Velveteen something stupid, like you're going to go out there and you're going to act all gay. But I think Velveteen would do it really well and he would get it over, and they would have no choice but to admit that this guy's over. Velveteen has natural born charisma. He is great. Him and like Kyle O'Reilly are two natural charismatic guys. They have great ring awareness. They have fucking just everything is great about what they're doing. And they could go out there and they can take something that they're given. Maybe it's a stupid gimmick. Maybe it's, go out there and act like this character and make it really good. And I don't know why it's like, oh, he wants to be called up, he's immediately going to be ruined. He's not. And if you don't want him to be ruined, fucking cheer for him then. I don't know. That's a weird fucking thought, isn't it?
Chris McDowell, the $2 super chat
donation.
Was Velveteen's reference to Vince or to Vince Russo or McMahon? McMahon. Now, I do want to say one thing.
No one's referencing Vince Russo anymore.
I do want to say one thing on the whole Vince could ruin him thing.
I also want to say Vince Russo called me a mark. Vince Russo, fuck you. Come and fight me if you want to. I'll fight you right now.
From the picture from...
Yeah, from the press event, he called me a mark. Fuck you, pussy.
Here's one thing I do want to say about Ricochet and Vince in the main roster. Or not Ricochet, Velveteen Dream. Vince knows how to book characters.
Very true.
Velveteen Dream is a character.
Exactly.
Not just...
Velveteen Dream is not Patrick Clark.
Not just a guy. Like, I'm not saying Andrade is just a guy or something. But he's more of like, a wrestler. Velveteen Dream is the total character package, and we've seen Vince knows how to book characters. Whether he's going to understand that character and maybe change it up a little bit or something, I don't know. But with Velveteen Dream being good at playing the character, I don't think Vince
It's like gold. It's like Gold Dust. It's like Gold Dust.
Kinda, yeah, like the old Gold Dust.
Exactly.
So in this match, Dream early.
We'll go over it briefly.
In the early part of the match, EC3 dominated, and Nick had said something to me. He was like,
"Yeah,
I didn't get it, but I heard the guys on the Fightful recap also say the same thing.
Fightful? Never heard of them.
That the selling in this match reminded them of Hogan versus Michaels. I didn't see it, but apparently Nick wasn't the only one to think that.
It was the turnbuckle spot.
Yep. That's
where he kept flying up in the air.
Yep.
Even Dream was just like, what the not Dream. EC3 was like, what the fuck is this dude doing? All right, I guess I'll go with it.
So EC3 dominated early. Dream then countered the onslaught with a twisting DDT outside on the metal ramp. Dream worked to the neck of EC3, and they played that up throughout the match, saying that EC3's neck may have been hurt, so he kept going to the neck. They would then trade near falls and big moves for a little while here. EC3 superplexed Dream, but EC3 sold his neck off of the superplex. Dream countered moments later and delivered a Dream Valley driver, not a Death Valley driver.
I like the name for the move.
For 2 count. Somewhere in there, EC3 bled. I don't know where. I think it was.
It was his mouth. Everybody
was his mouth?
bled from their.
I thought it was. I thought I saw some up by his eye.
Freaking mouth. Well, he got a black eye. He got like a swollen eye.
Everybody bleeds from their mouth on takeover shows.
Why? Is there like shit in the water?
Because they're punching each other. Because they're legit punching each other in the mouth. I'm surprised Kairi Sane wasn't.
She was.
Well, was she? I didn't notice that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everyone bled from the mouth tonight. It's like they're having mouth periods.
So where was I? After a Dream Valley driver on the apron this time, Dream then dropped a flying elbow from the top rope to the apron. Dream then pulled EC3 back into the ring. He got him on through under the bottom rope, pinned him 1, 2, 3. EC3 lost. Velveteen Dream won.
Yeah, I mean, finally Velveteen kind of gets that big win. He needed a big win for her. Tim, I texted you. You said shocked, and I said needed a pay-per-view, and he said still over as hell, even if he lost. But being that over is going to fade if you keep losing.
True.
Contrary to what Road Dogg says, it is about wins and losses.
So then.
It's not about wins and losses. It's about how you perform. Fuck off, Road Dogg.
So then.
Shit.
We're sitting here, and they're kind of like taking a little break, like a
little ad break, like a PP break for people.
Well, not even that. It was just, this is NXT TakeOver. Let's tell you who one of the theme songs are. And they're like, here at NXT TakeOver, the rich are going to get richer. And oh, by the way, look who's in the crowd. It's Matt Riddle, the king of bros.
Matthew Riddlestein. Damn, I was happy.
Kathy Kelly asked Triple H about this. She goes, how excited are we for Matt Riddle to be in the crowd here and have signed with NXT? Triple H goes, he wasn't here because he signed with NXT. He heard we put green flip-flops on sale up there at the merch booth, and so he was here to get some green flip-flops.
Did he really?
He legitimately said that on Facebook Live.
Fucking awesome. Let me tell you something. Matt
burying
Riddle,
him for wearing those flip-flops.
I think his name was El Skelto, whatever your name was in there. I also want a Matt Riddle Aleister Black match, and I want it now. I want Black storyline to end. What if? Do you think? Riddle attacked him?
But why?
Why not? Why not, man? Fuck it.
Oh, Regal did say today, I have conducted some interviews.
Wasn't the Undisputed Era.
And it was not. He said, I can guarantee, I can say for a fact, Undisputed Era were not behind the attack. So there's.
It also couldn't have been Gargano. It could not have been.
Why?
Because, I mean, why would it be Gargano? What would Gargano have to do for that?
Because he wanted Ciampa one-on-one.
Okay. No.
Okay.
No. Let's continue on here.
So, next up we had for the NXT North American Championship, not the NWA North American Championship.
Shut the fuck up. That's the real belt.
Adam Cole defending against Ricochet, and this was a great match.
This match was very fun,
this match
but
never stopped.
I felt like this match didn't officially start until that lion salt into the super kick. So we're going to talk about it really from that spot.
Well, you say that, but I liked the entire match. I mean, I'll run down the first half of the match really quickly.
The match was fun, but I'm saying it didn't really feel like it had that big fight feel. Maybe we had some more Pat McAfee and jorts in there.
Pat McAfee didn't even know how to say Kairi Sane on the pre-show. He's like, Shayna Baszler and how do you say her name? They're like Kairi Sane. He's like, yeah, Kairi.
I don't blame her.
Freaking Pat McAfee didn't even know how to say Kairi Sane.
It's because he didn't have jorts on today.
No, he did. They were making fun of him.
No, he didn't have jorts on. He said he didn't like Adam Cole because he made fun of him when he wore jorts.
He had shorts on.
No, they weren't jorts, though.
Okay, then.
There's a difference between jorts and
I guess you're
short.
right.
We're changing this podcast to the Shorts and Jorts show.
No,
God damn it.
because on the pre-show, they said how Regal's got great hair. He goes, Mr. Regal, you've got great hair, unlike Sam over here. And Sam goes, you really want to start this and get on your shorts?
Yeah, because they kept making fun of the fact that he wore shorts at one time. $2 from Chris to make that match had to be match of the year. If we're talking about the Ricochet match, it was a very good match. Let's talk about it.
Early exchanges in this match were basically wrestling holds. Ricochet then started flying around. Cole was backpedaling until he sent Ricochet crashing to the floor. A little while later, a springboard uppercut from Ricochet for a near fall. Ricochet then launched into a fury of flight. He springboarded into a corkscrew moonsault and did another even more spectacular than the first. Somehow Cole kicked out. Cole soon cut off Ricochet with a backstabber. Ricochet retaliated with more of his aerial arsenal. When Ricochet went for a lion salt, Cole cut him off with a super kick out of nowhere. That was an amazing spot. Crowd went absolutely bananas. Cole followed it up with a Yushigoroshi for a 2 count. Crowd was going crazy still at this point. They then started trading near falls and high spots. Ricochet did a reverse Rana that spiked Adam Cole. Looked scary.
God, that spike.
Moment later, Ricochet leaped over the top rope with a Frankensteiner from the apron to the floor. Ricochet rolled Cole back into the ring and set him up for his finisher. Ricochet at one point went to hit the 630 and Cole got out of the ring. He then got him back in the ring, set him up for his 630 once again, hit the 630 and pinned him, become the new North American champion.
It was a great match. It was a very fun match after that big super kick. A lot of that match felt like it belonged in Reseda.
Yeah, it did seem like it could have been a PWG match.
It was the way the crowd was into it, the way these guys were really pushing their bodies. I thought it was great. Both guys are great fucking performers. I like the title change. I was a fan of it. I don't know if Cole's coming up. I doubt it.
I don't know if he comes up alone. Because how is he going to come up if the other guys still got the tag titles?
He could just say, "Hey, I guess when Bobby's back, hey Bobby, I'm leaving this to you, man. Undisputed Era is yours. I'll be the undisputed era. You know,
if someone was going to take over the leadership role, it'd be Roderick Strong." Because you've got Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly as a tag team, and then Roderick Strong.
Yeah, I guess you could do that.
But Bobby Fish isn't expected back in action until at least November.
I miss him. He was very good. He reminds me of an old-timey wrestler.
Oh, for sure.
Just because of his facial hair. But let's take a little bit of a chat here. We've got Let's Go Ricochet. It was a very good match. Adam Cole for NXT Champ. Could be another good one as well. That super kick felt like it was a very PWG thing. I like it. BDF Network says, all you do is jack off these indie midgets, bring back guys who are badasses. What we're not going to bring back is you because you're a giant loser. Get the fuck out.
So if you guys do want to text into the show, 510-906-1341. 510-906-1341.
And we've got, this is how you do a pay-per-view. George John Cox says, this is how you do a pay-per-view. Let's hope SummerSlam is as good as this was. I have high hopes for SummerSlam. And you know SummerSlam is going to be good when your assistant store manager at your job that you didn't know watch wrestling asked you about if you're excited. So that's fun. Continuing on here with...
we then see Kevin Owens and Mark Henry chilling in the crowd.
Yeah, so official NXT signees, Kevin Owens and Mark Henry. They're going to be making their NXT debut pretty soon.
I put on Twitter, I go... So is this Kevin Owens showing us his backup plan against Braun Strowman tomorrow? The world's strongest man?
Jesus.
So then we had...
Jackson, that's a good question, and I can tell you he can go for that North American belt.
After a loss, though? How do you go for the title after a loss?
You raise a good point. Maybe go into a number one contendership match or like a tournament or some shit like that. Like Ricochet is like an open challenge. I don't care. You can do anything. It's going to be good.
Versus Ricochet again with the North American title on the line? Now we got to start building towards War Games. What do you put in War Games is the question.
Tag belts.
But no.
War Raiders.
Because you remember last year it was 3 teams of 3.
Undisputed. War Raiders and...
But War Raiders is only 2 guys. Who teams with War Raiders?
Well, that's why I said and.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess having Strong, it made sense because the Authors of Pain, when he was with him, he turned on him that night, right?
No. He turned on Pete Dunne Mania weekend.
You're right. Okay, never mind. Let's continue on with the women's match here.
All right, so we had the NXT Women's Championship match. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. They showed Ronda Rousey, Jessamyn Dukes, and Marina Shafir at ringside cheering on Baszler. which is weird. I know they're all buddies, but if you really look at WWE, canon and WWE, Ronda's the babyface and Shayna's the heel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, because everyone's like, oh, Shayna can come to the main roster and team with Ronda. But can she if she's a heel and Ronda's a babyface, unless Shayna turns babyface on the main roster?
Ooh. El Skeleto, Undisputed Era versus British Strong Style versus War Raiders and Ricochet. Could happen.
That's 2 titles that won't be defended on the same show, though.
You don't know that they can't be defended.
Mm.
They absolutely could be defended, bro. And what do you mean 2 titles? I think you only mean
Ricochet's
one.
Ricochet's got the North American, and Undisputed Era's got the tag.
Well, you defend the tag inside the War Games.
I don't know. Well, I mean, why didn't they last year?
They didn't?
No, titles were not on the line.
Oh, that's stupid.
Anyways, Kristen McNutt here with the $5 super chat donation. WWE announced Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus for Evolution. Yeah, so apparently when they were filming the pre-show, a photo was shown on some sort of screen that had Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss at Evolution. Weird that it just popped up on a screen. That also had a Coors Light logo advertisement on it.
I like it.
Women's match. WWE's trying to branch out with Coors Light. Anyways, women's match. Women's title match. Great story in this match. They really told the story of their third meeting. Kairi Sane won the first match at the Mae Young Classic last year. Shayna Baszler won earlier this year. I think it was in February on NXT. And now the title's on the line. Sane was out wrestling her with submissions in the beginning of the match, but Baszler turned vicious. Baszler went and targeted the leg of Kairi Sane. She twisted it and stomped it and pulled it and did every kind of other thing you can do to a leg.
Yeah, she fucked that leg up.
She briefly stopped for a second and mocked Kairi Sane. Let's see. Sane fired up with strikes, a spinning back fist that led to a rolling neck breaker. Baszler caught Sane on the top rope with an avalanche gut wrench suplex. A knee strike by Baszler only got her a 2 count. Sane then countered a suplex attempt and hit a spear on Baszler, which could have actually been the finish right there. Because that was a pretty good spear.
That spear was fucking insane.
Sane then jumped off the top rope for a flying elbow onto the back of Shayna Baszler. And when she went to the top, the first thing I thought was, if she hits this and goes for a third time, then she watched the G1. Because Tanahashi went for three of his high fly flows for the victory. Anyways, it didn't happen. She went for the second one, and Shayna got out of the ring. So Shayna gets out of the ring, and instead of, getting off the top rope, climbing out of the ring, going after your opponent, what does she do? Nope. Crossbody off the top to the outside. She then went to get back into the ring, got Shayna in there, hit another elbow drop. Baszler countered it, though, and put her in what she calls the anchor, which kind of to me looks... No. Baszler countered, but then Kairi Sane got on the anchor, which kind of to me looks like a Texas Cloverleaf-ish kind of move. And as she had her in the anchor, all of a sudden, Shayna Baszler just kind of all of a sudden herks up and pulls her in for a rear naked choke. Sane did get out, though, and applied a leg lock. Shane then applied the anchor yet again, but Baszler got to the ropes. Finish came when Sane went for another flying elbow off the top rope. Baszler blocked the elbow and applied a choke. Sane fell backwards. So Shayna basically went for rear naked choke. She fell to her back like she usually does to really sink it in. And when this happened, Kairi Sane kind of like rolled through it. And so it almost looked like if, I guess, Shayna would have went for like if you're trying to imagine this if you didn't see it, it kind of looked like Shayna would have went for like a German suplex. But Shayna's shoulders were more down, and Kairi was more on top of her, like, face. Referee counted 1, 2, 3, and there you go.
I want to say thank you to Kristen McNutt for the $5 once again. Is Shayna Baszler headed to the main roster? Will this be the build-up for Survivor Series 4 Horsemen versus 4 Horsemen? Let's talk a little bit about that, because I feel like she's main roster ready as she's ever going to be in her age. So why not send her up? Don't even give her a rematch. Just send her up, man.
Basically, two new champions back-to-back matches.
Which you kind of figured then what was going to happen next.
Yeah. They ain't going to go 3 new champions in a row. Or on the same
Or
NXT
just,
show.
yeah, I was just saying, or at all.
So some people were saying that the end of this match reminded them of Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper from WrestleMania 8.
Julio Caesar says, do you think that Gargano versus Ciampa should end in a Hell in a Cell match? No, I think it should have ended tonight. This needs to be the final match between the two.
At least for now.
Luca, stop being an idiot in chat.
So
I know what you're trying to do. Stop it.
And that's where we're at. The main event, NXT Championship match. So I got to lay the groundwork for this for a second. So initially, when they did the street fight in Chicago, that was supposed to be a last man standing match. If you remember, that show was the night before Money in the Bank. At Money in the Bank, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, last man standing. So apparently what happened, they were ready to film everything on NXT to build it up as a last man standing match, and somebody from the main roster goes, can't do it. And they're like, what do you mean we can't do last man standing? They're like, can't do it because that's what we're doing with the WWE title on SmackDown. Come up with another match that could be just as good. And that's when they said, screw it, street fight. So this match was originally supposed to be the Chicago match, I guess you could say. So both men come down to the ring. Of course, Ciampa with no music. And before Ciampa can even get his coat off, Johnny Gargano attacks him.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they played this out like an old school Texas death match.
Oh, yeah. I liked it.
So, before the bell, like I said, Gargano attacked Ciampa. They brawled on the floor. Ciampa rammed Gargano into the ring steps. He then threw Ciampa to the barricade, grabbed Ciampa, brought him to the other side of the ring, threw him into the barricade again, and then started to pull the protective mats off the floor, exposing the concrete. As before Gargano can do anything, thank you, Kyrick, for the $1 super chat donation.
Thanks, Kyrick.
Before Gargano could do anything, Ciampa then got him with a thumb to the eye, and then went for a draping DDT. Gargano countered by ramming Ciampa into the ring post. Gargano then cleared off the announce desk, and he went to give Ciampa a pile driver on the desk. Ciampa instead scooped him up and hit him with an air raid on the other desk, the Spanish announce desk.
Love the air raid attack. Great move. Gargano
rolled, let's see, where was I? A chair then came into play. Gargano cut off Ciampa by hitting him in the knee with the chair. Gargano repeatedly hit Ciampa with multiple chair shots. Ciampa was able to counter by applying a sleeper hold. Ciampa put Gargano to sleep. Gargano was able to get back to his feet before the referee counted. I think he only got to like 6 or 7 at this point. Mm-hmm. Ciampa quickly swooped in again and applied another sleeper, thinking, if I just put this guy to sleep and he can't get up, I win, we're done. But Gargano escaped this time and sent Gargano out of the ring. He then put a chair, wedged it into the corner. Comes into play later. They don't really tease it. You forget it's there until they need it, which was actually kind of good. I liked that. He puts the chair in the corner, and then they don't go back to it for a while, and it's like, oh, damn, that was rough because there's a chair there, and I forgot about that. So Gargano rolled out of the ring, starts attacking on Ciampa, and then he stacks a table, or he gets a table from under the ring, sets it up right there where the concrete was exposed.
$2, Chris McNutt. So who is next on Ciampa's title match? We will get to that at the end. Thank you. You are just made of money tonight.
So he sets up the first table. Then he sets up another table. You think, oh, he's going to stack these tables on top of each other. But then for some reason, he puts the second table upside down on the first table. I'm like, okay.
That's you don't know why. Do you know why?
Why?
One has the metal backing, and then you go through the metal part, and then you still have the wood part. And then it leads to the concrete
floor. You would think, but they haven't had the metal around the whole thing on the bottoms since Bob Holly sliced his back open.
Fuck, that's true. Oh, don't fucking remind me of that. That spot. Oh, my penis just shriveled up inside me.
That was used for so many years on the "Don't try this at home" videos.
Oh God, everyone still tried them at home.
So he sets up the two tables. Ciampa then rained down chair shots on him. Ciampa followed with a trifecta of Project Ciampas. He then sat down in the chair for a while the referee started counting, but Gargano did get to his feet and hit a super kick. Ciampa got kicked right out of his seat.
Yeah.
They then started throwing shots at each other. Yay boos from the crowd. This led to a wild exchange of strikes and high spots. They both went down, only to raise again for another slugfest. Second double down saw them stay down even longer as the referee was counting. Both men got to their feet, started to fight on the outside. Gargano crashed and burned on an attempted senton cannonball. Ciampa executed devil's wings on the ring steps. Gargano got to his feet to break the count. In a callback to their last match, Ciampa removed more padding. And this time it was in the ring, though, and you see the wood planks in the ring. Gargano blasted Ciampa with a fire extinguisher. Gargano then grabbed a crutch and beat Ciampa with it. You think they've overdone the crutch thing? You just think they've overdone everything, huh?
Yeah, at this point. I mean, there's not much you can do that's different, so what do you expect?
Gargano with a springboard into the ring. Gargano delivered a draping DDT onto the wood planks. In a clever way to get back to his feet, Ciampa broke the 10 count by rolling outside of the ring, which you fall down, and he fell onto his feet.
Yep.
Similar situation would play to the finish. Gargano twice did a top rope suicida and started running wild. Ciampa sidestepped him at one point, though, causing Gargano to superkick a member of the production crew. With the added effect of also using a chair, Ciampa delivered a running knee strike that sent Gargano crashing through the timekeeper's area. Then he just goes, there's a bunch of carnage and stuff out here. Let me pile it all on top of Gargano and see if they can hold him down. So he throws basically the barricade on top of Gargano. Then he throws a production guy on top of Gargano. Then he starts throwing chairs, and he's hitting this production guy with the chairs because he's throwing it on top of all of them. Gargano does eventually get up. Ciampa then got a pair of handcuffs, but Gargano wrestled them away and put one of the handcuffs on Gargano. You would think, okay, what are they going to do here? Is he going to put him in handcuffs and he's going to win again? Because they kept playing up in the video package before the match. Ciampa won with his hands handcuffed together. But this time he tried to handcuff him behind his back. Didn't happen, though. He still had the one handcuff on, though. Gargano then superkicked Ciampa off the apron, and Ciampa went through the two stacked tables. Ciampa got to his feet and used a crutch to help him stand up. Ciampa, using the crutch, then started walking backwards up the ramp. Gargano would give chase. They fought on the stage in a callback to the original angle that saw Gargano get attacked by Ciampa. It threw him right into basically the set.
Right.
Gargano then... Ciampa started pleading for forgiveness. We're done. It's enough. And Gargano's like, no, it ain't. I still got more to beat you down. Gargano then pulled down his knee pad and delivered a running strike to Ciampa. He then took the other end of the handcuffs and he handcuffed him to I guess, was that part of the stage or a production deal?
I think it was I believe that they were speakers.
Yeah, that might have been right. So it was speakers right on the very edge of the stage, which being on the very edge of the stage plays into the end of the match where it really didn't have to happen this way. I'll go to it in a second. So Ciampa's handcuffed. He's laying there. He takes the knee to the head. And he's sitting. So I was a little confused about this. Because I've seen in previous Last Man Standing matches, as long as the guy's sitting upright, they stop the count, right? It's happened before. Or do they always have to be to their feet before they can stop the count?
Oh, I've always been under the impression that it's to your feet.
Because I've seen once or twice before that it was they're sitting up, they're basically good to go, so the ref stops the count. Well, this time, Ciampa was sitting up, but for some reason he couldn't stand up. Which he could have if he wanted to. It was weird. They played it up like he couldn't.
No. I think he couldn't because of the way he was handcuffed. There wasn't enough slack on there for him to fully stand up.
Maybe. So
it kept
no, there was
down.
because of how the finish played out. He had the full slack.
He got up very briefly and then immediately went back down.
Well, no, because he fell literally off the ramp and had the full slack. Well,
That's a fair. Yeah, no.
So the end of the match saw Johnny Gargano once again with a knee pad down go for a knee strike on Ciampa. This time he hit it, and then he flew over Ciampa, hit his knee on a production box, tumbled all the way down, probably a good 4 or 5 feet, and he was basically kind of out of it. Referee's counting 8. Ciampa's kind of mustering around, but he can't really do much because he's handcuffed. Gargano's crawling on his belly, basically. Army crawls. Referee counts 9. Gargano's kind of like still army crawling over towards the referee. Ciampa's moving around. He gets at 9.5. Ciampa slides off of the ramp onto his feet. 10, referee says Ciampa wins because he got to his feet. But here's the thing. I really thought when I saw this get to 9, I'm like, this is the perfect finish. Neither guy loses, but Ciampa still keeps the title because it would have been a draw. Both guys get counted. But in the end, they at the last second, they gave it, Ciampa gets the official victory because he did barely get to his feet in time because he had the foresight to slide off the ramp and land on his feet.
I thought the spot was cool. Innovative.
Yeah, I just thought, you don't like either guy look bad with a loss, and this was, good way you could have done it. But either way, fortunately, it does look like Johnny Gargano may have a legitimate injury. Don't know when he suffered the injury, whether it was during this match or before this match. But Triple H did say on the conference call, not the Facebook Live show, but the conference call they did afterwards, that they're waiting on the, update from the doctors. He wouldn't have said that if it wasn't a real injury. Like, he may have said that on the Facebook show, but he wouldn't have said that in the media conference call, that they're waiting on doctors to diagnose him. They think it's a dislocated knee. And because of this injury, it did play into them having to slightly change the finish of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I don't know whether it came during the match, the injury, or if it came at the end of or before the match, like at a live event or something. Because they did like 3 live events this week.
I doubt it was a live event.
That's what I'm saying. They wouldn't have had him go in there and do this match with a dislocated knee. He probably would have done it, but they wouldn't have allowed it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4, an absolute banger of a pay-per-view with a ton of great matches on the card, a ton of great storytelling, and tomorrow we conclude the kind of weekend of festivity and fun wrestling with SummerSlam. And we will be live after SummerSlam, of course, right here on Pro Wrestling Unlimited. You can follow me.
Question for you real fast.
What?
Who do you think challenges Ciampa now? Because Triple H even said it. Triple H goes, Ciampa's done with Gargano. He could move on and see what's next for him as the NXT champion. Who do you think challenges?
Black will get his rematch.
You think maybe Ciampa was the attacker all along?
Nah, I don't think it was Ciampa.
Because here's the thing. They're going to do the whole Black wants revenge on the attacker, and they're going to basically make it so you forget that Black still deserves a title match. That's just how they book.
Who should be next in line to get a title shot? Let's give it to...
I mean, if you look at people that's gotten victories, Velveteen.
For sure there was someone that mentioned that, like...
It's tough.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Guess we're just going to have to tune in to NXT to find out.
Yeah, I think they're filming... I think there's tapings this week, I would assume, since they need stuff for in 2 weeks. But this week's episode, we'll have 2 matches and then basically all the backstage stuff that they filmed tonight after TakeOver. And then we'll see what direction they go. I know the next set of tapings won't lead to the next TakeOver, but it'll be like the halfway point to the next TakeOver, which will be Survivor Series weekend in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter at PWU_Armstrong. Follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited. Facebook at Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD.
Yeah.
And right here on YouTube. Tim, where can they find you?
Find me on Twitch and Twitter at TimmyBuddy. And like Nick said, we will be live again tomorrow night following SummerSlam, which, just so you know, is going to be like a 6.5 at least hour show.
So I'm probably going to miss a majority of the pre-show because I don't get off of work till 2. It takes me about 30 minutes to get home. So I just want to key you in on that in case when we do rundowns and
Just
shit.
a pre-show.
But, exactly. I'll probably.
I mean that cruiserweight title match might be pretty good though.
It might. Hopefully, I'm in home in time for that because I'm assuming that'll go on last.
I mean, you could always watch it on your phone on your way home.
Yeah, I could. I we'll see. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.